He notorious for knocking shit over. That joint definitely gonna fall.
Nah, you know what happened?
I'm not gonna lie about your tag.
I didn't set this up on Sunday, so it was how it was set up. For the last couple days, it's been tugging. And yesterday, I was on the other side. And because I'm moving everything back and forth, today when I set it up, I didn't secure the joint, so it pulled off. Plus, Napati seen the spider. You ain't seen her during the show. She was like, "What's that?" I said, "It's a spider."
You tagged her in the page, right?
No.
You check now that you like the page.
Takes a week.
Huh?
Takes a week.
Takes a week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it don't.
Oh, I'm gonna tell me.
It'll take a week.
I'm sitting there telling you.
Tripod. See how it's up? Joby.
No one believe it like mine.
I'm just trying to say, huh?
That's what I said when it said it takes a week. Like, what the fuck you want me to say? Motherfucker don't take a week.
Yo, I gotta talk to you too because I'm working on some sponsors now. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that.
So you want to go with that?
Yeah, I got something too, Pete.
Huh?
That's fine.
I gotta give y'all some bread.
Bread for what?
That's sponsored.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you want to sponsor my show?
Not your shit.
Oh, damn.
Damn, bro.
The morning meeting. I don't fool with the nighttime shit.
He said not your shit.
See, yeah, that's what he do to me.
We want to do Chop It Up Wednesday's t-shirts.
I'm
He
about
needs
to,
a logo.
I'm about to do that. Al texted me back.
Oh, he did.
He did.
You ready?
He texted me back and he said this week is kind of busy for him.
Oh, yeah.
As a homecoming, so he said he's gonna get with me next week, and yeah.
Boo, when you done, boo.
You
Get my
ready, Killer?
charger.
Yes, I am, sir.
All right.
I haven't killed anyone. I just want you to know that name is very derogatory. I would like for you to call me. You don't be paying me no mind, y'all.
You would like me to call you who?
Yeah, I didn't get that far yet. Killer? Yeah. Yeah, killer.
Let's get into the sublimation. Oh, wow. Say I don't want no plugs. Too busy.
I got oh, hey.
I know, it's trying to angle it so that we're all.
I'm fine. I can move around. I can wiggle. I can wiggle.
You know, on Facebook. I'm at my phone's dead.
What's up, yo?
So creative, I know it's gonna have to go good. I couldn't go on there without it now. It get me cussed out. Look.
Even son. Do not disturb. Do not disturb anything. Yo, world, what's good, man? Welcome to another edition, another episode of Chop It Up Wednesday. It's coming to you live from the CMP radio station, man. And my brother's here right now, my engineer, my CEO, my homie, my brother.
Yo,
Mr. P, he's in the background.
Yeah.
Y'all know he is the what they call you on parental advisor? Him, that guy. This is the owner operator, man. We chilling tonight, man. But I got some beautiful ladies here tonight, y'all, and we're gonna chop it up. I'm gonna let them introduce their stuff. We're gonna start with Miss Natasha. Hey, sis.
Hey, bro.
What's happening? Tell the people who you are.
I'm Natasha Clark. I own a Pediment for You, Shoutique, and also I'm working on a blog for our mom bosses, called The Life of a Boss Mom with my girl Janelle.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome. We got Miss Janelle Stevens. Tell them Stevens' son. I'm sorry, Miss Janelle
Right.
Stevenson. What's happening? Tell
Hi,
them
my
who you
name is
are.
Janelle. I am the
That's
owner.
speaking to the mic.
I am the owner of Central Strands Virgin Hair and Central Things Boutique. I'm also working on
Mhm.
the Life of a Boss Mom blog as well with Natasha.
Hey, I'm sitting next to bosses, man. Now I got this is my homie friend right here, Miss Kim Boyer. Tell them what's up, Miss Kim from Facebook.
Hey, how are you? I'm Kim from Facebook. That's a joke. I'm really not, but I am Kim.
We
We
kid on
together
that.
for some.
We kid on that all the time.
Yeah, we gotta
man.
kid on that all the time. You
But
know.
like they told you, man, I just last week I had an awesome show, awesome turnout with the fellas. So I said I can't be one sided. I gotta bring the females here. P, you feel me? And you said you called me and was like, bro, that was an amazing episode. That was the way Chop It Up supposed to be. Get a topic, dissect it with people with different opinions. You know,
Tell them it's my show, so I know I'm right.
I ain't gonna do all that, but I mean, I could. I could do
You
that,
ought to mediate.
but I could do that, but I'm not gonna do that because I value people's opinions. So
We got white
tonight,
people in here eating
so tonight,
steaks and
yeah,
shit.
man, we ain't even gonna do that. Don't put him on, bro. No, but tonight we're gonna talk about what women want. That's one of the topics. We're gonna go other places, I guarantee you. But we're going to the root of tonight's discussion is what women want. Miss Kim,
Yes.
tell the people in Facebook land and CMP Radio land and all the lands,
Okay.
what do women want?
I can speak on what I want.
I mean, but you're a woman, so,
Yeah,
a lot of
so
women might
Kim?
want what you want.
Yeah.
A lot of women
I want
might-
somebody that's mature.
But sure.
A lot of these people ain't mature. They're running around like they're young, like competing with 20-year-olds. You know, somebody my age, I don't want nobody that's competing, that's out in the bars every weekend, out in the clubs, and you know has to do all that. Just be you. Just really be you.
Right.
You know, no matter who you are. If you're a boss, that's cool. You know, if you work for somebody, that's cool. If you're an entrepreneur, that's cool too. Just whoever you are, be you. If you got a 650 credit, just be that. You ain't gotta be 800. You know, you ain't gotta be that. You ain't gotta be that.
I like that.
I like that.
Stop pretending. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna be with you. I'm gonna find out. Okay.
And I lied. We in it now. We
So
gonna
what
take
you
this
lied
shit.
to me for? You know,
Because I
you lied
wanted
to
you.
me.
You wanted 800. I gave you 650. So
But now I found out. Now I mean,
You
what
ain't
we
leaving
what
me.
we gonna do?
We're
Why
gonna do it.
not?
It's a score. We
I-
can improve it. Let's
That's the
improve
thing.
it.
Yes. You
Let's
could definitely
improve
improve it.
together.
Let's improve
No,
it
that
together.
wasn't my point.
The
that was
I guess
just
the
a
point
little,
was-
example.
I
That wasn't
guess
the
what the point was,
alright?
be honest from the
Just
jump.
be- yeah,
Be
yeah.
honest from the
yourself.
jump. Be
Be
honest
honest,
from the
yeah,
jump.
yeah.
Be honest from the jump.
That was
Miss-
my point. That
Miss
was my
Janelle, what
point.
about you? What do you want? What are you looking for in a man? If you're looking.
I'm not looking. I am spoken for.
Okay.
However, looking for a man, I feel like just being a woman in business, entrepreneur, I think that it takes a special kind of man to be with a boss woman because any kind of guy can't deal with somebody that's already so strong-minded, that already has her own, you know, whatever the case may be. So I just think that, not that everybody has to be a boss and an entrepreneur because that's not always the case, you know, like she was saying, run your own race. I think the world is equally yoked with Indians and chiefs. I always say that. However, you need somebody that supports you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't be, because I'm out in the public eye or whatever the case may be, I can't have someone that's insecure that doesn't like that. Like,
I
it has
agree.
to be, you have to support what I'm doing because this is my money. This is how I make money. Like, I
Right.
don't knock, you know, anyone else, but you have to be in support of what I'm doing and building me up because it's hard being an entrepreneur.
I can totally relate to that because a lot of females may look at me and be like, man, he out there, he doing this. I'm
Right.
really not.
Right. And that's how it's
And-
perceived a lot.
Yeah, it's the perception of just being a radio personality and things like that. It's a personality. It's a split identity, if you want to say so, of who I really am. So
Right.
I have to be this. I
Right.
have to do that. That is not who I am 90% of the time of my
Absolutely.
life. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
I really understand the security and the thing that a female must have when dealing with me is self-confidence. You gotta know who you are in my life and know that your spot is your spot.
Right, exactly.
That's it.
Exactly, and that's true because, again, being in the beauty industry and clothing and hair and beauty, when people see me, most of the time I look like this. But Natasha and Lou seen me 2 hours ago, and I had on UGG slippers. I was hit. You know what I mean? So that's me when I'm running around every day. I'm running around in UGGs. I'm thugging it. I'm going to FedEx. I'm shipping stuff. We're in the post office. We're doing stuff. We are the face of our business, but we don't have staff. We don't have employees. We don't have anybody. So when we're going to the post office shipping multiple packages, it's us. So we're not glammed up. So that's the face. That's the face that we have to play face, and we have to come out looking like this because this is our products and this is what we're selling. But on a day-to-day basis, again, that's not the real me. So my man is going to see the natural
Absolutely.
hit Janelle without her wig. Right.
Lace pushing back.
Yes.
And Tosh, what about you? And we already know.
I'm not looking.
We know, but what do you want? Stop it.
Finish the question.
What do you want in a man? And the reason there's a great reason. I'm glad that I have Miss Kim here, and I'm glad that I have you here because y'all both. We're gonna talk about that, but I'm gonna just go on that. Go ahead.
Okay. For me, I think someone that's supportive, someone that pours into you just as much as you pour into them.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, men can be babies, and they like to be babied, but they like to put on that hard exterior. So someone who shows that side sometimes, someone who's open with you, someone who shows you their heart is on a sleeve. You know, someone who supports you in everything that you do, even down to taking pictures for Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
You know, letting you know, like, hey,
He
you
did
gotta
that
fix
today.
your Yes, he
That's my
did.
bro. Yeah.
You know, but someone that's going to be real, someone that's my friend first and foremost. You have to be my friend first. You have to be honest with me, even if it hurts.
Mhm.
I would rather us have a friendship that even if things go left, to a certain extent, I know I can count on you
Right.
if need be.
Right.
That's all.
And a big cash app.
Oh. man.
And a nice cash app bag.
Now, Ms. Kim, what I was about to say was, I'm glad you and Tasha are here because y'all both are in, or I don't know if you are in, but you have been in interracial relationships. That is, I view it as amazing, me personally. Because
Everyone doesn't.
everyone doesn't. And I get that, and I don't understand it, but I
Right.
get it. Everyone's preference is their preference. So my thing is, how do you feel about that? What is your take on? Yeah, what is your take on that for the viewers?
I just think that's what suits me. That person is what suited me. Obviously for 17 years. So
Right,
that's what
right.
suited me.
That was a long time. That was a long
You
time.
know, that's what suited, he's still right here.
Mhm.
Right here, his ashes. So that's what suited me. And we grew up together since we was 21. So that,
17 years. Wow.
yeah.
Sounds like us. A little bit.
Yeah, but 17 years
That's a
and
long time.
and what and Taj, I'm sorry, you can answer these questions too. What are some of the I guess the stereotypical, the looks, the questions you get in being in these type of relationships? Like, I don't mind it. Trust me, I don't. You love who you love.
Right.
Yeah, you know, I know Kim is white, and I love Kim because of her whiteness. Because she's real.
Right.
She's real.
And
Like,
then you see her heart. You see her heart. You don't
know-
see color.
Right.
No. Let's not say we don't see color because that's the first thing I see. The first thing I see
and that's
is
the
her color.
opposite for me.
It's the opposite for me
Okay,
too.
so
Because I
so-
don't see color.
Right. So listen to
I
this.
say it all the time. I'm
Right.
colorblind. And
I
I see
don't-
color. I feel you.
No, but here's my thing though.
Yeah.
If you don't see color, that denounces who I am. If I see you, I see you. I know Lou white. I know he ain't white, but I know Lou is white. On the outside. I know you white, but I know you ain't white because I know your heart doesn't represent the typical white culture, if that makes any sense.
True.
You know,
It does. It does. But you know what?
that's why I fool with her because she's cool.
That's what you're talking about, right?
I'm
You
not.
like
I'm
Kim.
not. I'm not
you
like
know,
I
make
can-
it beautiful again,
I
right?
can-
That's what you're trying to say. I'm not that type of person.
No, I can even give you an example. Like me and my daughter went to the movies last night to go see The Hate You Give.
Yeah, I was just
It was
talking about
it was a few white people in the back, the very back of the movie. Like they were supposed to be in the back of the bus type joint. No, I wanted them to mingle amongst the people. So what I did once the movie was over, I wanted to introduce myself and my daughter when she went to the bathroom. Well, before she, I'm not just because we seen a movie like this, doesn't mean that I picked
Right.
you out to be just like them.
Right,
You feel what I'm saying?
right.
So my personality is I want to. What is that? Integrate with all races. I don't have a
Right,
problem
right,
with
right.
it.
That would be great.
So that would be a
in
perfect
an
world.
ideal world.
That
But
would be
that's
perfect.
awkward. That's awkward for them because I told Tosh the same thing. I took my son to see it as a black male. That's something. He's 15 years old, about to be 16,
Right.
and he is in school with predominantly Caucasian people. And I thought that was extremely important because in a few months he'll be driving a car. So immediately that made me like, wow, this is something for him to see, and it was the same way. It was like quite a few Caucasian people, and they were like all the way in the back. And I was
Right.
just like, wow, they feel displaced. They feel displaced in here, but it shouldn't be that because this is a learning tool for Caucasians too. Like how things are. It's just not only for black people. Like that's something that they need to see too on that.
I agree. I agree. Now, Tosh, now.
Can we back
you-
up to the question?
Yeah, you in a racial relationship. Oh, I ain't gonna forget.
So,
How do you feel about it?
well, I wanted to talk about what you guys just spoke on. I personally, I don't see color, and I know that may sound weird, but being with Luke for over a decade,
Right.
and being in his family, I know I should. There's times I tell people this all the time. I fill out something for Lou, and here comes that box. What race are you? Times I've checked black.
Right.
Because I
You
just
should.
forget, and I'm not being rude.
You
or
should. No,
funny.
I agree.
I really forget because I really just see his heart. When I first met him, he was the first white guy I've ever dealt with, ever. But once I got to know him, that color went out the window. But I'm not gonna lie, when I went to go meet his family first thing my mom said was, "Are you sure?" Because I didn't hear that his dad was too nice. So I'm like, oh, shit. Like, what am I about to walk into?
Right.
And when I walked in there, they gave me more love than Lou, and it's been like that since day
Oh,
one.
they're cool beings.
It
That's my
never
people.
changed. But I didn't start to really see too much negativity until we had Chloe in public places.
Right.
Yeah.
Before, people would stare, but when we had our kid, we had a guy like, oh, this is an abomination. What are you doing?
Wow.
This is disgusting. He would not go into the store because Lou told him, if you come in this store. So he turned around. But then also, it affects my daughter in school. Kids are like, well, why isn't your dad black? Or why isn't your mom white? Why do you have one black parent and one white parent? That didn't affect me until it affected my
Right.
child.
Oh, they talking to
That
my
is
baby
different.
like that.
Well, this was. I want to say this was in
Huh?
kindergarten or first grade.
Oh.
And she was like, "Why am I different?" And these are conversations we're having at dinner.
Right.
And I basically broke it down. Does mommy family love you any different? No. Does daddy's family love you any different? No. Do you see any difference? I said, so with the outside world, thinks it doesn't matter. So now that she's 10,
Right.
we have these conversations. We watch movies so she understands.
Right.
So I told her to have compassion for people because they don't know any better. And this is also learned behavior from parents.
Right.
Or even
Right.
what
That's
certain
part
things
of
in
what it is.
society
Yeah,
is
that's
teaching
exactly
kids.
It's taught. Yeah.
I believe it's learned behavior.
Yes.
A baby doesn't grow, come out
No.
with hate in its heart.
No, absolutely not. Pete, what you feel about that? I see you scratching your head. What's
Well, I don't know my head. That's just this. You talking about babies coming out with hate in their heart or what? What
No,
we talking about?
the fact of interracial relationships.
I believe you love who you love, but I'm pro black all the way, but I can't put anybody down for who they fall in love with,
Right.
and I'm not racist, so
You can't be.
I can dislike a group of people.
You can't be racist.
If that could make me racist,
It can't.
right? But I
Yeah.
can't exclude them from certain activities and things like
Right.
that. That's
Right.
what you're talking about. Right?
Yeah.
That's the form of racism you're talking about. But for me, you love who you love, right? You can't help who you love. So
Right.
interracial relationships are not new to me. I went to Catholic school.
Right.
My first crush was a white girl
Right.
in kindergarten. You feel me? That's why I don't like light skinned girls.
I can't with you.
Right?
I can't with
I
you.
keep it as dark as humanly possible without going over the purple zone.
Oh my goodness, I can't with you.
But it's all love. I feel like love is love, bro. Like, and the more you try to
That's
hide,
not colorblind.
right. The
That
more-
has no color.
Right. The more
Right.
you try to hide it, the more you try to fight it, it's just gonna continue to persist.
Exactly.
You feel me? So when someone is in love with someone of the opposite race, like the more you hate it, the stronger their love really
It
becomes.
should be.
It does.
Yeah, it has
does.
to.
Because I mean, it's like when for girls, when your dad said, "I don't like him," you like him even more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why you trying to? The forbidden fruit is always the one you go after.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So when it comes to loving someone of the opposite race, I just say, you know what your heart wants.
Exactly.
You feel me? So if you're truly in love, then know it's going to be tested every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No, you're going to have people that's not going to like it.
Right.
You're going to have people that say, a white man can't understand the struggles of a black woman.
Right.
And a black woman can't understand how good a white guy has it.
Right.
Right.
He walks in the store, credit seven points, period.
Right.
True.
And he says, yes, I would like to open up a charge account. And he unzips his coat. Oh, you're really white.
Right.
You're white.
White,
Yes,
white.
sir, here you go. Have a great day. And she walks up with the same credit score. It's like, what you want? You know what I'm saying? So, like, that happens. And you're like, man, you really got preferential treatment. So, I don't know. But I don't knock nobody for loving who they love.
I agree.
I just say don't get your sauces on there.
Can't win.
That's a great point, though. That's a great point because I had an experience in that regard. So I don't even want to talk about that. That ain't even the topic for today. But Ms. Kim, I had a post on Facebook, right? And the question I put on Facebook was, do you want your man to show his feelings and express his emotions? You remember what you said? What you said?
I said no, not all the time.
No,
And not if
not
it's
all the
not
time.
wanted.
It
People
is
will
not- it's
express
not.
things to you, and if it's not really your man, you're not into him. No, I don't.
No,
want
but
you
this
to
is your
tell
man.
me.
This is your man. This is your guy. This is your dude. You don't want him to. express-
Okay, well, if it's my man, yes, if I'm into him.
Did you grow up in the gardens?
No, 609 Highland, as a matter of fact.
Say-
Look.
Pretty much.
A little different now, a little different.
No,
All right,
that's
I'm
the
going to
gardens.
mix this up
The
now.
gardens went all
That
the
was
way
him.
down,
Look.
right there before Pete's.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lou was
Peter's
12.
Market.
I was
Lou was
1201.
1201.
I was
He was
1201
No, it was
high.
right up the Pete's. That's when 3rd Street began. You feel me?
I know.
So the gardens went all the way down to right there. Because it was all pole outs. I went to Catholic school right there.
Pulaski on up.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
Right.
I
All
was-
pole outs and
yes.
I mean the Ukrainian Catholics and KYJs.
Yes,
So
yes.
that area was.
So, but why though?
Because who wants somebody whining all the time?
I don't think it's whining. with
It
him,
kind of is if they keep
What is he
doing
whining
it.
about?
Yeah,
What do you consider him
Yeah.
whining about?
I don't know.
I can't
just
get a
with
job,
the
and you saying I
feelings
can't
all
get a
the
job?
time. Just okay, you love me, cool. I love you too.
Oh, you don't
I
want to
mean,
hear I love you?
No, I do.
Okay.
You know, but not like 20 times a day.
So you don't want
We're busy.
a sense.
We're busy. I do a lot of stuff. I got some women meetings over here. I do some credit fix, my regular job in the laboratory. I do a lot of stuff here.
So you want a busy man.
No, I don't need him to be busy. I'm busy. I
just-
see him when I get home. If you ain't busy, be busy. But
Raised
and
by
I
your
see
mom.
where I'm home.
Raised by your mom or your dad?
My father was murdered when I was one, so I was raised by my mother, and then I was raised by myself
Right.
after that.
So you taught yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Independent.
And the streets taught.
So I'm not trying.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
trying to
about-
be hard
I told
about
you,
it.
When she answered the phone, she said, yes, so I said, oh.
I
told you.
What she
I
said?
said hello.
No.
No, I said yo boy.
Young boy, that's what you said. So what she said? She said, yo, I was about to say, young boy.
Yo boy.
Young boy. Okay, I get that. So
Well,
you know what
it's
it's
different
do.
strokes for different folks.
I ain't
You
got
gotta
time.
move with it all. You know?
So he gonna come and say, baby, I love you so much. You gonna
But
bust
that ain't
it.
no, that's
Man,
business.
get out of here.
Here, I'm fixing your credit. So if you say yo boy, I know what it is. That's what it is. You need me to do something. You hear me say, fax me, give me that, I'll get it to Experian. Well, that's business.
Right.
That's yo boy. That's what you do.
I
I just
can't.
heard the yo boy.
That's the
so I
yo
was
boy.
I
was
got
like,
feet off of that. Yo
yeah, so you
boy.
don't want no feelings. I ain't got time for no feelings.
No, I do got time for feelings with the right person. I don't have time for feelings with everybody.
But,
Oh,
the
Okay, I don't
scenario,
have
the
time for
scenario
feelings.
is
People
your man
pretend too
though.
much.
He's
It's a
giving you,
nuisance.
he's
This,
giving you
your
your man.
scenario is your man.
Okay, my man.
And I
That
come
was
up to
the
you and I
question.
say, Kim, I love you so much.
Mhm.
often?
I appreciate everything.
How
that you
often
are.
is often?
I appreciate
Often, more
putting
than
my
you
hands-
want.
Put my hands through your golden hair.
It gotta be gold, it can't just be gold.
It's Goldilocks.
When the sun comes in the morning, it just reflects off your skin.
This is shit that
That's
we
too
do.
much.
That's
Too much.
Why?
Cut it.
Why?
Cut that.
You think
Why
it's
is
game?
It's too much.
See, because you think it's game.
No, I just don't want to hear all that. Hey Kim, I love you. You know, give me a hug, baby. I missed you. That's cool. All that extra feminine stuff, nah, keep that for yourself.
Ooh,
I'm not with that.
feminine?
To me, it is.
Why?
I need him to be a little hard. I need him to know when we go out and
Oh, when you
he
go
gotta,
out, yes.
you know, I don't want to see all your feelings all
You
the
can
time.
have both, cause I
I
got
do,
both.
yeah,
You
I
can
do have both. I did,
Yeah.
and that works good. But it can't be all that. I just
Yeah.
don't want all that. That's me. I don't want all that. I
You
don't.
want all that?
Mm-mm.
She don't want all that.
I don't. I don't. I
Just
don't.
wanna
I don't.
just wanna walk the dog.
You made it clear. She's like,
I'm
That's
just
what-
gonna walk
I'm
the
not
dog.
for
He
it.
can walk the dog. I'm just gonna open the
You
door
don't
and let him
wanna
out.
walk the dog?
Like, so I walk
Y'all don't go on walks. Y'all can't take walks. That's
We
too
can
feminine
take
too?
walks. I don't bring the dogs. You wanna clean up after dogs when you walking. You know what I mean? That's the time we can say all that
I
stuff.
told you, she's great.
Yes, I'm like
This
over
is my
here
girl
like,
for real. This is my
Listen,
homegirl.
I just
like,
got
for
a
real.
set thing. That's why I've been single for all these years. I got a set thing that
Yeah.
that you know.
That you gotta follow.
Marsha Baldwin said,
Just-
who Baldwin said, who need the extra stuff? I don't think that's extra.
What?
But
Yeah.
listen, this is what you got now.
This is what you got,
These are the
yeah.
women you have nowadays, and I'm trying to tell you, y'all have raised the men that you have nowadays because y'all coddle the fuck out of them. He can't
I
cross
don't
the
do
street by himself. He
I
can't walk
ain't
to the
doing
store
none
by
of that.
himself. He's your king. He's your prince. Oh no, don't
I
touch
don't
my
believe in
baby.
none of that.
Who's that football coach yelling at my son? Y'all running on the field,
Right, right.
raising babies, and
But
they
that's
like,
the
I don't
problem,
want-
and that's the problem,
I
and
don't
that's
want
where
no
the
baby.
feelings come in, cause that's the
Right,
problem.
he can't handle
He need his
correction.
father. He need his father.
Man, he begging for his father.
He need his father to
Well,
teach
his
him how
father,
to be a
his
man.
father
'cause
ain't
he too
around.
soft.
His
It's
father
women.
left.
She do fine.
Yeah.
Stop being
Well,
sad
now-
and miserable. then. Shit.
Miss Chanel, what do you say to that? What do you say to a man expressing his feelings and emotions?
All the time, though.
I don't mind it. I feel like emotions are real. I think that I want somebody to be real with me. If you feel an emotion, express it. I'm going to express my emotions. If I feel something, you're going to know
Like
it.
a woman, that's like.
I'm not emotional though. I'm totally opposite. Like I'm really not emotional. But when I feel something, I'm going to express it. So I expect the same, especially in a relationship.
Mm.
I think you got to be open and transparent. I'm all about open transparency. So if you
Transparency.
feeling something, let me know.
Yeah,
A lot of times people hold stuff in and then you don't know what's wrong with them and it's
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
domino
yeah.
effect.
Then
Like,
they
oh, you was
explode.
feeling this, you was mad at me
Right.
about
Walk in
this,
now.
and you didn't talk to me about it. I would rather like let's dead the situation before it gets out of hand. So express your feelings from the beginning, and then we don't have no issues.
Hear that?
That's
Tosh?
how I feel.
Amen, amen.
Kill like I ain't tried done that shit. Go get some Just Pizza.
Put that bootleg on over there.
Right.
We get some of that. Order some of that Almira's and let's go. I got time for this. I gotta get up at 4:30 in the morning, okay? Jesus,
I feel
I'll be
like,
on the weekend.
personally, I feel like it's important. I lost someone I love, not a lover, of course, but I'm like, he showered me with love. So I always think about, like, I've always knew that he loved me. So I would want my guy to tell me that at least one time a day.
Right.
Like, tell me. I don't mind if
We
you
wanna see.
communicate with me and say, I'm feeling this or I'm feeling a little disconnect. As long as, but let's really get into it. If you have a man, you already know his emotional side. You know how far he will go.
Right.
You know what he will expose and not expose. You will know his feelings without even him saying a word.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So once you're at that point, him professing his love or saying how much he missed you throughout the day, that's a relationship, I feel like. That's a healthy relationship. Now, being overly loving, being overly sensitive, that's a bit much. That to me, that's not for a man. It's okay to be in touch with your feminine side, but I don't want you writing me, cry me a river of letters all day long. That's a bit weird to me.
Yeah.
Like Kim said, I want a man's man. I want to know.
Yes.
We walk out this door, somebody say something, you can knock them out, and you're not gonna start
follow
crying.
up,
And,
but
and
you
wanted to get shot.
Yeah.
no, 'cause I
No,
will
none of
follow
that,
up.
none of that. When I
Come
say
on, he
shot,
got-
that's
we
not
ain't gonna
what
get
we
shot.
saying. That's not what
That's
we're
what they doing nowadays.
We ain't gonna get shot. No, what I'm saying is, no, hold on, shut up.
I need to know that he say something. He say something to me.
No, all right, so listen to
No, I'm
this.
talking to my chick.
No, that's
Not
not,
like that.
no,
That's what's
no.
We already know and
But
have
that's
a
what's going
foundation.
down like
It's
that.
not like
No.
that's not what I
Yeah,
know.
that's not
That's not what's gonna happen.
No.
What's gonna happen?
That's
Please
not,
tell
that's
them.
not
Tell
the
them
scenario
what
that I'm thinking of when I
What
say that
scenario
I'm
you
sure
thinking of?
that's the same.
Yeah,
What
no,
scenario
what
you
I'm
thinking
saying,
of?
did you guys ever watch the movie Temptations by Tyler Perry?
Yeah.
Okay, when the girl, right before she
It's a
started
movie.
cheating with that hot
It
girl.
is a movie.
It is, but listen to my point. Right before she started cheating, an incident happened where they were walking to their car from a restaurant. Guys disrespected her, but she was the only one yelling while she felt like her man didn't protect her in a sense, or at least speak up and make her feel
What
comforted.
happened later on in that
Even
movie?
No, hold on.
No, no.
Let's stop it right there. Hold
No,
on.
listen to
But
what I'm
sis,
saying.
listen. It was 5 of them.
Right.
One of him and one
console
of you.
your woman. That's what I'm
No, let's
saying.
go.
He basically
Yo,
made her
get
feel
your
like
ass
he
on.
was
Let's go.
crazy.
Let's keep going. Now I come back with 5 other dudes and we can do something.
No,
but
that's
me
not
and
the
you,
scenario.
I don't want both of us laying in the
If
hospital.
if my man
No.
look like a bitch in front of me, it's over.
How?
Period.
No, I'm
'Cause you're
giving
supposed to
that.
be-
Because if there's a couple fellas, I'm gonna give him that. Because I
You're
ain't trying
Five
to
of
lose
them.
no- I ain't trying
I need
to
you to
lose
be
nobody.
smart right
Come
now.
on,
I'm
babe,
sorry.
I
I
need
guess,
you-
I guess that's
Okay.
the
No.
situation.
I
So
need you. No. Don't say nothing. If they look at your ass, they look at. As long as they don't touch you or
good.
me, then
No.
we're good. They can say what
Oh
they
yeah,
want.
well
No, they
listen,
gonna
I'm
say
not talking
what
Let's
about
get to the
looking.
car.
I'm not talking
Now,
about
if I-
looking.
now, hold
They
up,
were
though.
disrespectful.
If I come
Right.
back, if I come back with my homies and they there, okay. What you say about my chick? Now we can do something. But if it's just me and a woman,
Well,
if guess what? If I get beat
Remove-
up,
listen
9
to
times
this.
out of 10 they're gonna try to rape you.
listen to this. I'm
You
not
want that?
remove,
Yeah, you
remove,
do.
remove it
Right.
being 5 men.
Go ahead.
Right.
Remove it being
Just
5 men and
one-on-one.
just one man.
Right, I'ma
My-
check you.
Oh, then we got something
that,
to
so
do.
that, so
Exactly.
that
You're
that
gonna
was
check.
the point of it. Not that I want you to get jumped by somebody, because of course
I
that's
want
not
you all over
smart.
my
But
back.
I'm saying, first of all, you know you ain't going down alone. But anyway,
How about it? Look.
the point was a woman always wants to feel protected,
I
even
agree.
if she
Secure.
doesn't say
Because a
it's
man
secure.
is the protector.
She did not feel secure. She did not feel like precious cargo. You know, like
Right.
that was my point. It wasn't about
I think
getting
she
jumped.
escalated that situation though. She escalated that
I don't know
situation.
what you're
This
talking
When
is
she
your,
wasn't-
this is
she
your
said-
show.
No,
This is
no.
your show.
Sis, listen, what she
He
did
got the mic
was she said,
Mic off.
"Oh, you gonna let them talk to me like that?" What?
Now wait, now
It's
she
more
never
them
said
than
nothing
there
like
is
that.
us.
First
But
off,
I
I
swear,
need you
check
to.
your man
No, we
outside
gotta
either,
do that. We gotta think.
It's a reason why she did that.
Exactly.
but Mike, I'm
She
saying
did that, she was
rewind.
already
It
feeling
could
some
have,
type
it
of
could have
way.
Already
been,
about him.
but it
Exactly.
could have been
This the
one-on-one.
one that
I'm
she got
saying,
AIDS?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't agree with that
But hold
movie.
on, hold on. At the end, he ran in the house. He beat the ball up. So at some point, he showed his love. The thing was, he didn't show it when she.
Because he
wanted
was
it.
comfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that nigga was outnumbered.
Right.
He was
No,
outnumbered.
listen,
bro.
See, can you tell me
I
off
didn't
of that?
show you
He
what
was
I don't
outnumbered.
want
And
all
he-
of
and he-
that.
It wasn't
that
Just
part,
stay
Mike.
with
But he
me. When I
admitted,
find
like,
you,
I
just
didn't
stay
show
there.
you
Don't
what
worry
you
about it.
wanted.
Right, right.
You feel me? Because
Once
I-
once shit
question
hit the
running
fan,
under the-
once it hit
because
the
she
fan.
didn't say she wanted something else.
Right.
She just ran off to the next situation. And
Right.
that's what happened.
Well,
in
she tried in the
relationships.
kitchen with
And
the
I think
smack
that
me,
she
the
gave
growl
the,
at me.
I think she gave the signs.
She gave the signs in the
Absolutely.
kitchen.
It was church people. You didn't give him the proper signs. That's communication. He goes
No.
to church every Sunday. He's not thinking about the
Yeah,
extra. He's
right.
not from that situation.
Right,
You got the signs because you got a job. Somebody gave you new dresses. You walked into a
Well,
new
yeah,
world.
like they said,
Right.
Left him
someone
in
showed you
so there was
something
no
new.
signs that he could have saw unless you come to me and say what? You have open communication.
Communication.
Listen,
That's
I want to
true.
be choked when we have sex.
But
Right.
she
Get
told
the
him
whip.
to.
Get the whip.
Yeah. The strap.
Get the
I
strap.
believe that in the beginning of that relationship, though,
Right.
he was giving her everything that she wanted.
Right.
She fell in love with that man. He got
showed her
comfortable.
something new.
Right.
Yeah.
Once he got comfortable,
It was
is
over.
when she started wanting the old, like, where was it? Where everything at when we first met? You know, like
Let's
we're on
move
this.
from the bed to the shower, huh? That's
Right,
what she,
right.
when she was tired of having sex on the bed.
Right.
Right.
And then when she met the new man,
Yeah.
He showed her
introduced
something
to,
different.
You know, he brought back old memories and introduced her to a new world, and she like, shit, I want that.
80-20. That's
Right.
all it was.
Right.
That
Absolutely.
movie is an 80%, 20% movie. What people go through every day. Every day, all day. If you're in a relationship and somebody new comes along, or you smell a new perfume or new fragrance or new cologne, damn, what's that? Once that is, that is your pheromones telling you that boy got 20% that you ain't getting. That looks good over there. That 20% look good over there. You got 80, but you fascinated with the 20% that's over there that you're not getting. Let's go see what that 20% is. And that's how things get effed up. They get messed up that way because you're so. And oh man, I'm excited about this 20% that I'm not getting. Yeah, man, you know, I'm
20%.
bored at home.
That 20% feels good. Bro.
I'm not denying it. I'm not denying it. You're not getting it, so it definitely feels good. You don't see it, so it definitely
I'm
looks
gonna stay
good.
safe.
So
with
listen to this.
lady
Were
over
you
here.
ever getting it,
Not.
or is it something new? Because me and Lou been together for over a decade,
Right.
and I was a teenager. I'm
Mhm.
30. I'm a woman now.
Right.
I was 18 when I met him.
Right?
So we went through times to where as though he had to readjust.
And
You
that,
know,
that,
and
that
it
takes
happens.
maturity.
But
That
that's,
take,
but that's
Yes.
communication.
Absolutely.
Also, if you
Absolutely.
don't communicate, listen, this is where I'm at. Or we got to grow together. You got to
I'm
communicate.
surprised none of you guys said that. When I asked all of y'all, what do y'all want? None of y'all said communication.
I didn't say communication.
You did?
I did
Janelle
too.
did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we said
Absolutely.
communication.
I think that came more from the whole. Is he
Yeah,
too
yeah,
sensitive?
yeah.
As opposed to saying that's what.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
Y'all said it. Y'all voiced it.
No one ever says when they want a relationship they want communication. Like
Right.
No one says that.
no one says that.
I guess you just
what they
expect
what,
that.
what they know what they want is their basic needs. I want to feel protected. You
Uh-huh.
feel me? I want to be provided for. I want somebody that can do the things that I need him to do, but can he communicate when he can't do them?
Exactly.
Right.
You feel me? Can he communicate when he is capable of doing that? Listen, babe, listen, this is what we got. This is how much we got on the table. Let's split this drink down, take care of the bills, and have fun with the rest. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? Can he say that or just be like, I
Here
don't
it
know.
is.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Exactly.
Right.
So when he takes control, can you handle a man that's taking control in your
Oh,
relationship?
that's what he's supposed to do.
You feel me?
Yeah, I feel like
do.
that's a real
Right.
man.
Please do.
A man has
'cause
to
it's a
lead the
heavy
household,
burden.
I feel
Right.
like.
Please do.
A real man.
A real man.
I need
Yeah,
him to just that
right.
when I
But
find
that goes
him,
in. I
I'm
wanted
gonna
to
tell
talk
him.
about this. That's so funny.
Yeah.
A woman being submissive, and what does that mean to
Oh,
different
wow.
women?
That is so
I was
great.
What
going
does
there.
that mean
I
to
feel
different
that way.
women?
This is why this is my sister right now. I was gonna touch on that word too.
I was going to go there, but go ahead. You could go ahead. Tell them about it.
Okay, so from my personal experience, and a lot of people disagree with me,
Uh-huh.
friends, even aunts, family members, because we would have these conversations as women.
Right.
And me personally, and this is what I've learned throughout my relationship as growing as a woman, I feel like a man is supposed to lead the household. I feel like you can allow a man to be a man and not be a doormat.
Uh-huh.
Being submissive does not mean he runs your life. It does not mean that he can tell you what to wear and he mistreats you. It just means that you give the man the respect that he deserves if he's being a man and taking care of his manly duties the way that he should be.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I feel like you have to respect that. You can't, I don't feel like, especially in public, what you do behind closed doors
Isn't
is
that
one thing.
horrible?
But I feel
Yeah.
like you should never
Horrible.
make your man feel less than a man in public.
I agree.
Horrible.
Me and Lou joke
And
around a
people
lot,
really
but
like this
you will
stuff,
never
yes.
see me
Yeah.
publicly
Right.
embarrassing him and
I've
embarrassing.
never, I have never
Disrespect.
done.
Right.
Listen, and I've seen y'all in public venues a lot. I can
Right.
honestly say I've
So,
never seen that.
You know what happens when
Because
you
you
do
know
that?
better.
No.
You know what happens when you do that? And you embarrass him in public? He now has no faith in you.
Right.
Right.
He
Right.
now
He done
does-
lost
And you
he
take their
doesn't-
dignity.
Right.
You take their dignity.
He doesn't want to take you anywhere.
Right.
He doesn't want to
Right.
put you
Because why
anywhere.
would he, though?
He doesn't
I
want to
mean,
promote
really?
you in
Yeah.
any
Right.
situation.
I
Don't
bet I
want to
want
support
to.
you.
You could do this in public around strangers. Just imagine what
What
you'll
you
do
gonna do?
around. No, when we get around your people.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Right.
If she got 3 brothers. She ready to snap.
Mhm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, we gonna have a whole situation there.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
only way for me to check that situation is for me to knock a tooth out your mouth when you do it.
Oh,
Right.
I don't know about
You
all
know
that.
nobody-
Right? Seriously, if you get to that point, because
Right.
if
There's
you-
no
Right, 'cause
boundaries.
it's
There's
just
no
straight
boundaries.
disrespect.
There's no
It's just
boundaries.
You're
disrespect.
berating him and you out there in the street, you embarrass him, you got your finger in his face, and he like, yo, will you chill?
Yeah.
Like he's able to remain calm. He's like, yo, can we talk about this? Not yelling, just having a conversation. He
Exactly.
right and da-da-da-da-da-da.
That comes with
Only
understanding.
thing you-
It's an
only thing you-
understanding
Oh,
and a foundation
it's-
that you're not going to do
You got
that.
about 5 minutes until all of this is red.
Right.
Exactly.
That's his eyes.
And then that's it.
And he just gonna hit you in the throat real quick. Bop,
Black
and grab
out.
you.
He's gonna black
He be like,
out.
"Come on, let's walk."
And everybody be like, Dad, that's a shame you did that. No, you shouldn't have
Well,
did that in the
shouldn't
beginning.
have- it should-
Stop
Never
doing
got
that.
that far.
Shouldn't have happened.
Stop doing
It
that.
shouldn't have happened.
It shouldn't have
Yeah.
happened.
Women
It
need to
shouldn't.
become self-aware
Stay in your place
of themselves, their
As a woman,
actions.
stay in your place. I
Yeah.
do believe we have one, and I do believe we should stay there, you know. And that's why I said it takes a strong man, though, you know, at the same time. You know, you can't go around, that's why I said all that whining like that. I just don't see him as being strong with all that. I just
Yeah.
don't.
being submissive that can go into two parts because again, that's again playing face when you're out in public. Like, yeah, I may look like this strong mom, and yeah, I'm a boss, and yeah, I'm this and I'm that. But when I'm home with my man, I'm natural. I don't have all that. I am going to submit to him. I am going to do certain things because if he's a man and he's running my house and taking care of my house, I'm going to trust his league. I can do all the boss stuff and black girl power and women's empowerment and all that. But when I'm home, I'm gonna let my man be my man.
Right,
But he can be your man when you're not home
right,
and when you're not in his
Absolutely.
presence.
Right, absolutely.
And I think that's the respect line that.
right.
that a lot
You're
of
the
people
owner of a
fail to
business,
have.
but it's still your man, right?
Right.
You're still a
You know what I'm
woman
saying?
with a place.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely, because I have a few businesses and
But
I'm
what
still
I'm
a
saying
woman
as
with
far
a
as
place.
like running business and stuff, like
Right.
I always have a boss hat on because outside of the, I have another business outside of the, the hair and the things, and I'm bossing people all the time. So I say all that to say, I always have that in mind. I gotta tell this person to do this and do that. So that's hard sometimes to turn off when you're home because
It
I'm
is-
always
it
in boss mode.
It is?
It is.
Why?
Because if that's my mindset and I'm doing that 10, 12 hours a day, then I come home, it's like,
But-
okay,
but-
it's not a light switch.
Right.
I've
It was,
always
I'm
say this,
glad I learned to separate them,
and
but it
this
was,
is,
you're
and
right.
this is basically
can
what
be,
this
yes.
means. Never take your work home with you.
Right.
That's what that means. That
When
means
you're an
when you-
entrepreneur,
when
that's
you-
over.
It's
no,
hard.
it's not hard. It's not.
Give me some lessons.
It's
Yeah,
not. It's
please.
not
Like
hard.
a job, you
It
clock
makes
back
It's-
out and
It's
you
not.
go.
And when you leave the job is left for the day until you get back in there. It can be, and I told you this before. I've told you this several years ago. I told him, yo, when you done doing t-shirts for the day, you're done. If you have to, and this is what did I not tell you this? Turn your phone off. If you have to, you have to.
Because I might call him. You better not tell
Always.
always.
Listen, this is what I say. When your job is done, job is done. I put my phone on do not disturb frequently.
But for
frequently.
different spurts, not
You don't
constantly.
care about nothing.
I do care.
You
But
like,
see,
I don't
we
need to
got
do that.
several businesses between us, so even in my mode, you gotta pause, put the businesses on hold. You doing homework, you cooking dinner, I'm helping out at the store, whatever it is. You have to go back in and get that work done. Otherwise, when you got orders and stuff coming in, that stuff's gonna pile up.
Let me
You
tell
gonna be
you.
behind. You got customers bashing you
Get
on social
some
media.
office hours
You can't do
and
that.
work those office hours
You can't.
strictly.
When
You
you
can. I'm
can't,
telling
yeah.
you, you can be very successful.
It will help
Very
you.
Right, you
successful
cannot.
to do that.
I wish I was able to do
You
that.
cannot
disagree.
do that.
I disagree on that.
If I
I
said,
gotta
what
disagree.
my
Why?
office- Tell me what my office hours.
Right.
However
I
long you
can't
feel as though you can have that energy.
I can't.
Why can't you?
Why not? The latest show is at 12 o'clock at night on a Thursday. New shows popping up all the time. I gotta be here from 9 in the morning till 9 at night sometimes.
Now here's
That's
my
12
thing.
I-
That's 12 hours.
Right, that's 12 hours, but I still have to leave. I have to grab the kids, deal with the kids, do homework.
Right.
You feel me? Pick
Right.
my mom up, pick my twins up, pick
Same
somebody
thing
up. I
everybody else
gotta-
do
That's my
after that
thing.
12 hours.
Right. So I gotta make the most out of those 12
The
hours.
great thing about
Right.
what you have, bro, you have people that's on your arm that needs to do more than they are doing to help you out. So you can get some breathing room. So you can spread your elbows a little bit and do
Ain't nobody
other
gonna
things.
make, ain't nobody gonna make Lou's shirt the way Lou make his shirt.
Right, and we
I
ain't letting
agree.
nobody do that.
Ain't no,
Right.
you understand what I'm saying?
I
So
agree
ain't
with
nobody
that.
gonna set-
So what the people need to do, what we gotta train people as even as a barber, I had to train people. I don't work on Saturdays. I don't. Don't call me on no Saturday. It's over.
I would think that's the busiest day.
It-
But you have to have that person that can call you on the Saturday and say, bro, I need a cut. Yeah, he'll pay more. for
Got
that.
to.
Right, he'll pay. So I think a lot of y'all barbers been doing that because there's a lot of barbers I'm talking to. Like, yeah, I don't work on Saturdays, but if you need me to come in, I'll cut you for a couple extra dollars. Oh, y'all niggas think y'all slick.
The grind.
Oh, y'all think y'all slick.
The
Once
grind don't
once one
stop.
person see it, it's
Yeah, and that's
not
the
gonna stop.
issue that I be having. Like, if I go in on a Saturday and if it's not back to back, and I cut one person last Saturday. Got off the plane, he came right to the barbershop. People that, yo, Mike, you gonna cut this? You cut me? Dude, I didn't even want to cut him. But because he's not even in this state, I was like, okay, bro, I get you. I had to do that.
So let me tell you why we can't do that. What conversation did we have about if we're not on social media posting, what happens?
We don't get sales. We don't get sales. And when you have businesses, like I said, like ours on social media, were people are visual on social media. Like
Absolutely.
I know if I'm
Not just on social media,
yeah,
but they visual.
visual period. So most of the time, especially women, okay, her outfit is cute, I want to buy that. If I don't post pictures, I don't get any sales. It was a prime example from last weekend. I was busy on Saturday. I was doing a bunch of stuff. I didn't post nothing all day. I'm like, damn, Saturday is usually my money day. I usually make $1,000 or whatever the case may be. I didn't make one sale. I didn't post anything on Instagram. So that's just a prime example. I can't really cut it off. If somebody DMs me or asks me a question, I have to respond to that. So it's really no office 9 to 5 hours when you're running a business like that.
Especially when you're just starting.
When you're
though.
just
These
starting,
are
When I
not.
ask you, are you building? 'Cause when
Yes,
you're
we're
you do
building.
bring
We're
a lot.
building.
We're
We're
not-
building.
You bring a lot when you're
We're
building, I would
building.
think.
We're building.
I
But
would
when
say.
people are
I don't
responding
say.
to
I
But
email,
if
disagree
you're
with that.
established,
I don't
Yeah,
disagree.
we're
if you're
building.
established, you can do those.
With our new
But yes,
businesses,
when
we're
you're
building.
yeah.
we do have to work
We
extra
are, you
hard
know, we're-
because you're in competition with everybody, especially
Yeah,
in
so
that
we're
Watch
field.
it.
Now, here's my
I would
thing.
agree.
But here's my thing. In that constant working,
Right.
the grind, who suffers the most?
Your family.
All right.
Absolutely. We just said that. We
Right
had.
then.
And who's
we
the
had-
most
but
And
you
who's
have-
the most
Your
important?
Your
family.
family.
Exactly.
But if I don't do this, then they won't eat.
Exactly.
I'm
If
not
I don't do
denying
this,
that.
then
I'm not
guess what?
denying
Somebody
that.
told me when I was trying to start the station, right? Conversation, they said, man, listen, have you always done for your kids? Absolutely. One Christmas ain't gonna hurt. One birthday ain't gonna hurt. You can make it up. You got time. But if it's too listen,
but
if
that,
it's-
that word, that word time is very
Yeah,
precious because we don't
we
know.
know.
that
about
word
that
time.
time,
So
man.
this is what I'm
We
saying.
don't know.
We don't
We
know.
just experienced that. We don't.
We
Do we?
don't know.
So yes, just lost a friend.
Exactly.
Right, not knowing, but if it's your time, it's your time.
Right.
And
Nothing's gonna change
So
that.
nothing's gonna change that. So whether I go to work and I die at work, or I come here and I build my dream and I die the day after Sirius calls and says, yo, we want to give you a whole station.
Right.
I still had to put that work in some way. That day
Agreed.
was still gonna come.
Right.
You could have came and I said, man, I don't know when I'm gonna die. They can't miss a Christmas. That'd be
Right.
all right. If I wouldn't have had that conversation, the station wouldn't be.
Right.
Like it's
Sacrifice.
just that simple.
You gotta sacrifice.
Sacrifice has to be made at some point.
I don't
when
disagree with that.
When
I know.
believing in
And you're an
yourself.
established barber,
Right.
so it's a little
Don't tell the
different.
people that.
You're established, man.
Yeah, when you're established in your craft, it's
So
a
when you
different.
first started, you couldn't take Saturdays
No,
off.
you're
'Cause that way
absolutely
you
right.
needed to build
I
a
needed
customer
to-
base.
I
You feel me?
agree.
So
Now that
don't
you have a
knock
customer
us.
base that you know you
I'm
can.
not knocking
Now
it.
that you got a customer base that you know you can hit upside the head on Saturdays. You feel me?
Like you
$50
said.
cuts. Yeah.
Being an entrepreneur is a gift and a curse, though.
I
It is.
told absolutely.
We tell our kids we
But
sacrifice
you
for them
have to
daily.
sacrifice things
In the
in
beginning,
order for yourself to be happy, in order for you to be able to
you want to be
provide
in
for your
grind
family and do
mode
certain things.
for 5 years.
So you may sacrifice 5 to 10 years of your life,
Mm.
but after them 5 or 10 years, you can sit back and you
Coast.
got 1, 2, 3 taking care of everything for you.
Right.
And you good.
They
But
watch
you
it
have to
grind.
set them standards and be the person that you need to be for your business. And when you train them people to run your business after them 5 to 10 years, you know it's getting ran the way you wanted to be ran and the way you was running it before.
I agree.
So you have to sacrifice that time.
And
in
but
the
them
beginning.
A white man said that.
But them sacrifices, your children are watching you. Like Lou,
Right.
you watched your family as an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
So you have it in you. It's in you. I told you what my son said the other day about selling chips or something at school, and I'm like, oh wow, he got grind in him. Like you know what I mean? He's watching me as an entrepreneur. He's watching me make sacrifices. You know, just as something as small as that. He's 15. He wanted to go to what is it, Restaurant Depot to sell chips. He already had and candy. He like, I'm gonna pay $30 and make $90. This is a 15-year-old child.
Right.
So he in his mind like, I'm about to flip this.
I thought
Yeah.
that was
Wanna
a
be an
bad thing because my
entrepreneur.
kids did it. My kids did it, but they was watching me do other things.
Right.
It was like when I said my son said we gotta re-up, Dad. I said,
So you know the children are watching it. I know even
Absolutely.
Chloe said something like, "Mom, I'm really proud of you." Like they are watching it. You know, it's like again when we grind and we work, it's all on our back. Like we
Right.
make what we put out. So we don't have a 9 to 5. We don't have a set. Okay, you're going to make this amount of money this
Right.
day.
And I think we're blessed to, I know for me and Lou, we're able to have our kids
I got 9 to
and what
5.
we're doing. We're able to have our kids in the
They
store
guarantee money.
so they see firsthand what mom and dad is doing. And Chloe loves it. Bella's only 2. So right now, you know, she doesn't get it. But the one thing I can say about me and Lou's journey is that we're both entrepreneurs at the same time. And I don't know if he says this, I mean, if he feels this way, but like, I feel like this is the happiest we've both been because we're both doing something individually that
Right.
we've always wanted, but we're still together.
Right.
And everybody doesn't have that. Everyone doesn't have a significant other that understands entrepreneurship. We both get it. We respect each other's grind. We give our input when it's needed. We, you know, talk about things We call him our co-creative director for Boss Moms. But, you know, it's that understanding and that communication. Right now, we know the goal we're working for our family collectively.
Right.
So if I got to stay up to 4 a.m. because I just helped with homework for 3 hours, that's what mommy's going to do.
Mama gonna be tired tomorrow.
Mommy's never tired. I get up same time.
I rest when I'm dead, bro.
Listen, Diddy said he rests in transit. Listen, I'm on go mode. I have spent the whole year of my life going through some of the craziest things. So right
I
now,
don't think Diddy's
I'm
a
in grind
perfect- I don't
mode.
think Diddy's a perfect example.
Why not?
I'm not
He's the
saying he's a
highest-
perfect
you don't think
example
he's
because
the
I don't think
highest-
nobody's
It's a
perfect.
team, bro.
He ain't always have a team.
He did. He
He
did.
didn't always have a team.
I'm
Right, he
not
was
denying
grinding. So what
that.
I said, at some point he was grinding. He stopped going to college because he wanted to grind on his passion.
I
You know what
agree.
I'm saying? He gave up a career working for Andre Harrell because he wanted. Listen, I believe
So
myself.
I don't think he got it.
Listen,
Gave
I
up
believe
his career.
I
he
believe
got
in
fired.
myself. Because he believed in himself. He stepped outside of that's giving up your career. If you step outside
Your
your box
comfort zone,
and piss
yeah.
off the person that's molding you to the point where he fires you, you had to believe in yourself.
You
It's
have to.
something
You
you
gotta
did
believe in
that
yourself.
was working more for you than it was working for him. Well,
Right.
you trying to make a name for yourself. Oh yeah, you're a firefighter. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to go. Like what? Doubling up on work? I got that from my kids.
No, I left corporate America to be an entrepreneur. So that was
Have the
a huge
faith in,
that was a
in
huge
all
leap
that.
of faith. Like, okay, I'm out here. I'm going to put this money out and I'm going to do this. And again, it's not a guaranteed salary. I'm not making what I was making, there. So it's just like, okay, I'm going to step out and I'm going to do that. So it is a sacrifice.
I agree, but now let's jump back into this word submit.
Digress.
Yeah, that word submit is frowned upon.
It is.
It is very frowned upon on a lot of females. I can't even call them women because a lot of women do submit. I'm going to give them that. I'm going to give them that. A lot of women that I've encountered don't mind that. Don't mind submitting. Janelle, how do you view and does that word ring in your relationship? Submission. How is it? How does it come off? When is it used? Is it used all the time in his presence, out of his presence? When is that word, or is that word, positive to you? And how do you walk in it pretty much?
I walk in it because I always, in my mind, and being in a relationship, I'm always considering him and what he would think at that time. You know what I mean? So it's just like, if I move and I do something, in the back of my mind, a lot of times he's my confidant. He's in the background. He's not forefront. He's not on social media. He's not on any of that stuff. So he's the Mac in the back. That's what he likes to call himself. But if I'm doing something and I'm moving, hey babe, like what you think about this? Like I'm quick to say and run that by him. So it's just like, even though he may not be there and he doesn't have to make that decision, trust me, he knows what's going on.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So that comes into play. And then, like I said, when we're together, it's all the makeup, all the glam, all that stuff is off for the most part unless we're out. And it's just about him. What do you want to eat? Let's chill. Let's do whatever. Like just to make sure that
You got
he's
time
cool.
for that?
Yeah, I have to make time.
Oh, okay.
I have to make time.
See, she made time.
I make time because it's it's important. It's a
She made
balance.
time. Tosh, made time. I just want to put that out there.
I
Made
mean,
time.
that's what you have to do.
Miss Kim.
Absolutely, you have to.
That's
be.
No
submission.
compromising.
That's a part
It's
of submission.
compromise.
No,
I
I
think
don't
that's the
like
biggest.
that word. We're not gonna use that word on Chuck.
What?
Compromise?
I don't
I
like
think that's
Why?
submission.
Why?
But see, that's the problem. You
Why?
confuse the word submission scares women, right?
Right, it does.
Submission
A
to
lot
some
of women.
people see a choke collar.
Yeah.
Or like
And-
walking
and
all
50
over.
50 shades of gray.
listen,
50 shades
you
of
have,
gray.
you have nothing,
I'm
but
for the 50
submission
shades.
is truly compromise.
It's,
You know what I'm saying? It's
Listen.
just it's to say that for 10 seconds, it's gonna be your way, and then for 10 seconds, it's gonna be my way, because both parties have to submit. You feel me? For there
At
to
some
be a
point.
true
Right.
Submission.
relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel me? So you have to compromise. Ain't nothing wrong with compromise.
Right.
As long as it's not
That's how it
violating my core upbringing, meaning
You sound like my teacher.
Right.
Core values.
my core
yes.
values. You sound like-
Exactly.
if you're not violating my core values,
We
then
can
the
talk
compromise,
about it.
it works. But if you're
Yeah.
violating my
That sounds just like what my professor was saying last
if you
Saturday.
violating my
yo.
shit and jumping over my fence, oh baby, I got some restrictions over here. Like,
Right.
I'm not compromising on this end.
Right.
Boundaries.
Yeah, your boundaries and your values, like you
Boundaries.
said. That's
Yeah.
you're not supposed to.
So Miss Kim, what do you feel about
Kim
that?
ain't submitting enough.
How do you walk
That's a
in?
lie.
How do you walk in
Okay,
submission?
not right this second.
Right.
Okay.
Right, one day.
I ain't find him yet.
One
Again.
day.
Okay.
How long you been looking?
Okay.
How you looking?
I'll find him.
Go ahead.
You know, my God will tell me when he's around me. I feel it. You know, he'll send him around. About submitting. Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm? Yeah, Miss Kim, you can pick
Grab
that.
the microphone. Like everybody else.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm about to rap.
Mic check,
About the
1
rap?
2 1 2.
Yeah.
Hey,
I just
yo,
thought I was loud
it's
enough. I
Tasha in the
didn't really-
house.
I'm usually loud, so I didn't really
But,
think
you know,
all
it's
this.
all right.
But
Yeah, no, you ain't that loud.
wow, that's first. So being submissive, yeah, I believe in being submissive as a woman. I think that's how it's gonna work, and I do believe a woman's place in life is to submit to the man. And I do think that men should be strong enough to take that, you know, to be able to take that weight sometimes or most of the time and not give it to us, you know. When, you know, there's all these bills due and everything, don't give it to us to do, because that's a really heavy burden. I did that, that's a heavy burden, you know, because that's what makes us hard as women. That's where it comes from, it makes us hard.
Okay.
When we have to do everything, that's how the manly part comes, because that's what you're teaching us. You're teaching us to be like
You
that.
had to fight for everything. See, there's some people that had to fight for everything.
And it
Right.
makes
You know what I
it
mean?
makes you hard.
Or they were raised to be a woman when they were young and they have responsibilities of taking care of a parent or something like that. And now that they're in a relationship, they're like, nah, dog, like, that's not how this is gonna go. I
Right.
just did that for the last 16, 17 years. I'm not about to do that here.
Not again.
So listen, this is how it's gonna go. Yo, why are we fighting so much? Like, if I tell you, yo, that stove is hot, I'm gonna find out if it's hot myself.
I'm not
Oh,
gonna- that
kiss
wasn't-
my hand. Bitch, I'm not kissing that. I told you it was hot. Go
Don't
soak
touch
it in
it.
some ice.
Look,
Go soak
don't
it in some
touch
ice and
it.
deal with it. But
Right.
in dealing with a relationship and being submissive and trying to find that equal, like you said earlier, equally yoked in the situation. All right, you want this, I can give this. I want this, can you give that?
Right.
If that's not being met, like you said, with the bills. If he's not helping or taking care, taking all the bills off the table. So at what
I'm
point?
not saying pay them.
Right.
I'm saying take care of them. Don't give them a here. You know,
Right.
here's all this. You do this.
But women are better at numbers, I thought.
Well, we can sit down together then.
You
Here.
do
Fair
fixed
enough.
credit, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I
I'm
want to
not
pay all my
saying-
bills.
that's not
I
what
want
I'm
to pay all my
saying.
bills.
Right.
I'm
See,
not
I
saying
hate
that.
numbers.
I'm saying
I'm
we
good
can
with
sit
everything else.
together
I hate
and do
numbers.
this. If you need my help, we can sit together.
I ain't take this money. Here's the money. If he
I'd
put the money
rather
on
do
the
that. Just tell me how much you need from me, baby.
Oh, so you'd rather be the man?
No, just tell me what you need from me, and he could go ahead and do the bills, because
You
I
have
think
to-
that's heavy.
I
Oh,
think
you want him to pay
relationship-
him, like
Right.
to pay him, and you give him the money.
No, he
What?
just tell me how much I need. If he needs half of this, or he needs a quarter for this, or whatever he may need, just let me know.
You talking about weight? You said a half.
Quarter? Look, all right. You trying to come in and buy up in here? No, I'm not talking about none of
I'm
that.
trying to figure out.
So
I'm just saying, whatever it is that he needed from me, just let me know.
okay.
You know,
So
I don't
if
wanna
y'all
have
was
to go
sharing
figure
bills or
that
something
out.
like
Yes,
Okay, gotcha.
whatever you need from me, let me know. I'll
Gotcha.
be glad to give that to you. Okay,
But you don't want him coming in and saying, "Babe, there go the Pico bill." You feel
figure
me?
it out.
Here's the money.
Yeah.
You
I
don't want
mean,
him to say that.
a Pico bill, yes. A bunch of bills at one time,
All
no.
the Housley bills.
No, I don't. No,
No. Is that a word, Housley?
no,
No.
I
I
don't.
don't think that's the word.
No, I'd rather,
All the
I'd
household
rather
bills.
just.
But it's alright, you the boss.
That's great.
That's a
You
CFP word.
the boss. It's a CMP word, so that's
Custom-made words.
custom made word.
Just the house.
But,
I'm surprised we all agree.
So you would
though.
rather her
I
do
didn't
that?
expect that.
see, me personally, I pay all my bills in my house because I live by myself.
Mhm, me
So
too.
I
Right.
got into the, I've got into the, you know what I'm saying, that mode. I don't like it. I like domestication.
I think that's why I don't like it, because I'm so used to doing it. I don't
Yeah,
want to do that.
You want a
Here,
break from
take
it.
that,
I
yeah.
like
Right,
domestication.
so I compromise. You do it for 3 months, I'll do it for the other 3 months. Every
You know what
other
I'm
month, whatever you want to do, but
That's-
no.
But that's me though. I had to. I gotta pay mortgage. I gotta pay insurance. I gotta do all the car note, all that
Peace out,
stuff.
right.
I'd be like, man, I don't even want to pay this month. Let's just